can see with these raised beds how much they've sunk. I've just got some compost and we'll just spread that over. Still a bit lumpy, Mrs. W, but it's looking okay.
Yeah.
I'm going to be planting some turnips and some radish into this raised bed that we made some 3 weeks ago. And in today's video, we shall tell you 9 jobs that you could be doing in the month of March. That's our first plantings, Mrs. W.
They look good.
We have some multi-sown turnips and some multi-sown radish. Every other planting looks really nice, really pretty. And radishes don't take very long to come to harvest whatsoever. And neither does the turnip. We'll be eating those within a matter of weeks. Nice and fresh from our no-dig Norfolk garden. Now for my first job, you can see here that once things have germinated down in our house, myself and Mrs. W bring our plants up here to the polytunnel. Now it's much cooler here than in the house, and therefore they are steadily becoming acclimatized to outdoor conditions and the difference in temperature. But if you've raised your seedlings indoors all of their life, it's a good idea to introduce them to the cooler weather outside, a process known as hardening off, so that it's not too much of a shock to them. You just saw us plant out some turnips and some radish. If they spent all of their life down in our house, I would have hardened them off slowly over 2 or 3 days before putting them out. But as they've been up here, the ambient temperature in this polytunnel is not a huge amount different to what it is outside there. So therefore, I can get away with planting them straight out into either open beds if I choose, but in this case they were our raised beds. But of course, that's for things like onions and the brassicas that you start off at this time of the year. They can cope with the cooler temperatures. Whatever you do, don't bring your warmth-loving plants up here. Keep them down in the house in the warmth. Only put them in an undercover structure like a poly or a greenhouse if it's heated. Remember, things like chilies, chili peppers, aubergines, they really shouldn't come anywhere outside or into a poly until nighttime temperatures are steadily at 10 degrees. That these strawberry plants are actually now coming back into growth. They're sending some nice fresh leaves up. Spring is that time. But if you potted up some runners from these plants from the year before, you can now start to plant them into some baskets, hanging baskets. Myself and Mrs. W did this last year. They're in the poly, you see them all of the time. But they will give you the earliest of harvests from your strawberries. So if you have those runners and they're in pots, why not put them into a hanging basket and put them in an undercover space? You can see here that we were eating strawberries in April. In fact, all in all, we started eating those strawberries in April, through May, through June, and then these ones kicked in during May. We were actually eating fresh strawberries still in September, weren't we, Mrs. W?
We were.
Because the ones in the polytunnel, they were still giving us fruit then.
Yeah, we sort of had a second flush of them in September time, didn't we? So it was
Oh
lovely.
yes. The grass is now beginning to actively grow. It won't be long before we have to start mowing the lawns again. That's a sure signal to me that we should begin composting once again. Myself and Mrs. W compost all year round, but we do use a hot composting system, so we never stop. But for those of you that have a cold composting system, and perhaps if you don't grow your vegetables all year round, you won't have the materials to keep adding to your compost heap over the winter months. But before you do start composting, just have a check of your compost bays. Do you need to make any repairs? The last thing you want to do is to fill those bays up with material only to find that there's a problem. And then you've got to empty it all out to be able to get to that bay to do the repair that urgently needs doing. Now, as the spring comes around and the weather warms up, the weeds start to come again. They'll appear much quicker during the warmer days and weather. On days like this, when it's damp and drizzly, pull them out by hand. But when you do get those dry days, do make your first hoe strike of the season, so that you keep on top of those weeds before you actually begin planting. March is a time when you'll be sowing your peas. We talked about it on our last video. Once you've sown those peas, another job that you need to be able to do is to get your structures up for any plants that are going to be growing up them. You could erect a bean tunnel like myself and Mrs. W have. You could make an A-frame. You could make a wigwam. But whatever you're going to be growing your climbing peas up, make sure that structure is in place, because in about 4 weeks' time, those peas are going to need to go in there. Now, you wouldn't think it today. It's a very grey day today, and there's some drizzle in the air. But actually in March you will get some very warm days. And when those days occur, it doesn't take long for this polytunnel to rocket up to around 30 degrees Celsius. Same with the greenhouse. On such days, do remember to ventilate these spaces. Your plants will not be able to cope with such an extreme in temperature. On our hay grew polytunnel, we have roller sides that we can roll up. Really great for keeping this polytunnel ventilated. And we leave the door open on warmer days. In your greenhouse, ensure the vents are open and keep that door open. You don't want it getting really hot in there. You've taken a lot of time, trouble and care to raise your plants. You don't want to see them wilt just because that structure's got really, really hot. Now for my next tip, these are our blueberries. Blueberries are an amazing crop. We love to eat them, the grandchildren love them too. You can see the buds are now starting to appear. So now is the time to feed your blueberries. Now these are acid-loving plants, ericaceous. So either give them a mulch with a good ericaceous compost or start to give them an ericaceous liquid feed. And the other thing with blueberries is that from year to year you'll find that some of the branches will no longer be producing anything, such as this one here. You can see that it's gone really brown and it's not giving you any new red stems like this. So just prune that away. It's no more good to that plant whatsoever. This is our asparagus bed, and we're very hopeful that we shall have our first asparagus this year. We grew this from seed and it's now into its 3rd season. So hopefully we can have a few harvests from this. But you can be planting asparagus crowns now in the month of March. As I said earlier in the video, myself and Mrs. W, we compost all year round. There's some nice compost in there. There'll be some more in the Beast. This one's Beauty. If you ever hear us talking about Beauty and the Beast, these are them. These are our hot composters. So I'm going to harvest that. As I say, you can begin starting to compost any materials that you have. The weather is starting to warm up. You can buy hot composters, but if you want to give it a try to see if it works for you before you part with your hard-earned cash, then you do have the option of building a DIY hot bin composter. They don't cost very much and they're quite simple to build. Last year we made a video all about how we made these hot composting bins. So if you're interested in maybe building yourself one, then watch this video next. Have a great rest of your gardening week, and myself and Mrs. W, we shall see you very soon.